Good evening and welcome to game number 3. Third and final game of the road trip for the D1 Gales. Gorman coming off a 3-1 win over Central Cathedral. And a win last night against Orange Lutheran. Tonight, taking on Pacific Ridge. Pacific Ridge in their dark jerseys, Gorman in white. Gorman back to a full bench after serving out the last few suspensions from Friday evening's shenanigans. Meanwhile, Pacific Ridge rolling in with a relatively short bench, 11 to 12 skaters. Bearcloth in the game earlier today. Expect Lakoska in net for this one. And as a reminder, boys will be on the road again in 2 weeks. Friday, September 19th, taking on Santa Margarita. That'll be a repeat from the showcase out in Las Vegas at the end of August. And Saturday, September 20th, those games against Desert Christian and then Fairmont. Fairmont late game, 8 p.m. Saturday night, September 20th. That'll be a game you'll want to catch. Those games will be either on this channel here or CIH Media. Stay tuned for the schedules. If CIH is broadcasting those games, they will be recorded and uploaded later on here. Same sheet of ice as earlier today here at Great Park Ice and Fivepoint Arena, rink number 4. Most games are going to be played here, one of the 4 rinks. A few more games over at Anaheim Ice, a game that we watched Friday night. The old Anaheim Ducks training facility. And we're getting ready to kick off here. All right, fresh 17 minutes on the board. As we get ready to kick off the first period. Pacific Ridge, 11 skaters. Starting lineup for Gorman for your forward crew. Johnson, Tritton, Jennings. On defense, Trent and Bosner. Jennings in for the faceoff. Pacific Ridge comes away with it. Dangles through in the Gorman territory. Shot goal. Right off the bat. Gorman letting one through as Pacific Ridge makes it a 1-0 game. Defense swapped out, Long and Baldy in at defense. Long feeds it up, just out of reach, Cass Johnson. Pacific Ridge sends it back into Gorman territory. Baldy to Long. Cross ice pass to Johnson. Glove down, still on sides. Tritton comes up, shot. And they blew a whistle. They're gonna call a penalty. Looked like we had a penalty there by the signal. Apparently not. I'm just going to stop play. A very delayed offsides. And we're going to bring this one out into the neutral zone. Kerr in for the puck drop. Keeps it, leaves it for Fitzy, chips it up, takes a hit. And we got a penalty. Tripping is the call. Number 14 for Pacific Ridge, giving Gorman power play, first one of the game for either team. Still early, Gorman trailing by 1. Jennings in for the faceoff. Pacific Ridge wins it. Back out to the blue line. Trent out to the far wall to Godino. Sends it across, no one home for Gorman. Chipped out to Fish. Fish sent a cross-ice pass. No one there. Godino's going to lob it down around the boards. Jennings looking for assistance. Loose out front. And Pacific Ridge gets the clear. Godino sends it across, just out of reach to Fish. Able to recover, brings it in. Out to Trent at the blue line. Trent running out of room. Sends it down in front of the crease. Goal! As Jennings puts it in to tie it up. 15:30 remaining in the game. Fish, Creel, Godino, Larison, and Rubino. Puck comes out in favor of Pacific Ridge. Kept in Neutral zone by Fish. Godino gives a hit in center ice. Pacific Ridge sends it into Gorman zone. That's going to be an icing. He's going to come on back as Gorman changes out some legs. Johnson, Bonifazio, Davis for your forwards. Larison and Rubino on defense at the blue line. Davison for the faceoff. Pacific Ridge wins it into their corner. Chipped, kept in play by Larison. Larison kicks it in. Davis comes in, poke checks it down around. Johnson on the far corner. Sends it to Bonifazio, loose out front. Pacific Ridge cuts across. And they clear the zone. Walk it through. Dangle picked up. Kept in play by Pacific Ridge. Shot. Glove save. Davis in for the faceoff. Davis wins it back. Bonifazio to the near wall. Sent around by the Pacific Ridge defenseman. Bonifazio chips it out to Cash Johnson. Cash Johnson in pursuit. Couldn't get there in time, and it comes back the other way. Kerr is going to send it back for a regroup. Baldy. Luong back to Baldy. Missed connection there, and Koska's going to cover. Kerr in for the faceoff. Comes back in favor of Pacific Ridge. Shot goes wide. Klaus has along the near wall, gives it to Kerr. Takes a hit. Clears the zone. Like off the skates of Tritton. Stolen by Pacific Ridge. Walks it up. Shot goes wide. Baldy working back behind the net. Pacific Ridge sends it out front. Chipped up and out. Still in play. Fed through. Save. Koska. Chipped up. Glove down. Baldy picks it up in the neutral zone. He's got a little bit of room. He's going to walk it up. Dangles through. Shot off the shin. Goes wide. Godino in for Gorman. Sends that back behind the board, behind the net. Trent lobs back in the opposite corner. Godino in pursuit. Creel there to support. Puck comes out, chipped out and clears. No icing on this one. As Trent comes back for it. Opts to bring it back the other way. Posner, the other defenseman, on the ice. Chipped up. To the feet of Godino to Fish. Fish brings it into the zone. Takes it wide behind the net. Creel feeds it down low. Loose out front. Pacific Ridge working along the boards with Creel and Fish. Bring it out wide. And off to send it down in the Gorman territory. Creel battling at the hash marks. Chips it off the glass. Clears the zone. No icing on this one. Larison pitches up. He's got Davis sporting. Davis comes in. Feeds it back the other direction. Picked up by Pacific Ridge. Larison pinches up. Bonifazio shot just right of the net. Davis comes in, backhands off the mask of the goalie. Cash Johnson looking for a passing opportunity. Davis sends it out. Rubino, loose. Bonifazio there, couldn't get it. Johnson takes a hit down in front of the net. No penalties. Larson battling along the blue line. Now Davis. Davis feeds back. So defense can regroup. 2 forward lines for Pacific Ridge. It's going to get real slow here for them by the end of this game. Bonifazio chips it up out to Jennings. Jennings lobs it in, picked up just outside the blue line. It's sent back the other way. An opportunity for Pacific Ridge. Larson ties him up. No penalty on that one. And chips it. Couldn't clear. Fed back down to Jennings. Out to Tritton. 2-on-2. Shot. Glove save. 1-1 game early on in the first period. Shots on goal 3-3 in favor of neither. Face-off coming up in Pacific Ridge territory. Pacific Ridge comes away with it. Kept in play by Baldy. Feeds it back down. Baldy gets hit. Loose at the blue line. And Pacific Ridge brings it the other direction. Jennings going to get there for Gorman. Back behind the net. Chips it up to Tritton. Stuffed by the defenseman. Shot goes wide off a leg. Pacific Ridge walking along the goal line. Shot hits the side of the net. Baldy and Luong. Your defenseman loose out front. And save by Lakoska. Gorman sending out 5 new bodies. Creel, Godino, Fish, Posner, and Trent on defense. Fish in for the face-off. Shot right off the face-off. Lakoska was ready for it. Godino lobs it up. And that's a little too much air on that one. And that one's going to come on back. Ten minutes even. Fish wins it back. Posner chips it off the boards, just out of reach of Godino. Comes back the other way. Shot goes just off the side of the net. Creel working at the hash marks. Fish is going to walk it up. Trying to feed it to Godino. And it gets turned around the other way. Trent's got some room. Walks it in. Poke checked off. Pacific Ridge doing a good job stuffing Gorman at their blue line. Puck pinned just outside the Pacific Ridge bench. Fish breaks it free, makes the line, shot up, and in the netting. Rubino, Larson, Davis, Bonifazio, and Johnson in for Gorman in a offensive zone draw. Davis in for the faceoff. Wins it back. Split the D. Chipped off the boards out to Cash Johnson's got a man on him. Picked up by Pacific Ridge, and Gorman going to need to regroup. Rubino sends it around the boards. Gorman regrouping back behind their net. Brings it through. It's got space. Backhands it off the post. Picked up. Johnson shot. Loose out front. Johnson is going to be the first one there. Backhands it again. Save. Loose. Sent around the boards. Davis gets there for Gorman. Chips it back around. Bonifazio has it in the slot. Sends it back down low. Davis out front. Couldn't get a shot off. Pacific Ridge brings back the other way. They got a man running deep. Bonifazio back checking. Costing him the whole way. Luong in the far corner. Comes away with it. Davis pressing down at the hash marks. And that'll be an icing. Kerr in for the face-off. Out to Jennings. Jennings slides it down the boards. Pacific Ridge going to send it the rest of the way. Out of reach of the winger. Chipped up and over. Still in play. Kerr at the far corner. Walks it through. Feeds it. Baldy sends it back down low. Ran out of real estate. Fed through to Kerr. Couldn't get a shot off. And Pacific Ridge is going to clear the zone. Bring it across. Kerr gets a hit in there. Luong poaches that one. Fed back through to Jennings. Makes the line. Walks it up. Shot. And goalie's going to suck that one up for a stoppage of play. 7:10 remaining in the first period. Tie game 1-1. Shots on goal 6-4 in favor of the Gales. Face-off coming up in Pacific Ridge territory. Creel, Fish, Godino, Trent, and Posner. Pinned along the near corner. Fish feeds it up to Trent. Trent's got some room to work. Feeds it back to Fish. Walks it up in the slot. Drops back to Trent. Missed connection there. And Trent has to recover back to the other side. Posner walks it up. Sends it down in the zone. Bounced right outside the crease. Goalie brushes that one aside. Fed back down low for the breakout. Didn't connect. And Pacific Ridge is stuck back in their zone. Picked up by Godino. Godino takes a hit. Trent feeds it back out to Creel. Feeds it down low. Shot. Off the pad. Just out of reach. Fish. To Posner's shot. Picked up by Pacific Ridge. And they're going to walk it back the other way. Right outside the Gorman bench, and they send it down deep in Gorman's zone. Trent with a stretch pass out to Godino. Good opportunity, shot, goal! And Godino makes it a 2-1 game. Stretch pass from Trent at the goal line to the blue line. Give the Gales the lead. Just under 6 minutes remaining in the first. Shots on goal 7-4 in favor of the Gales. Bonifazio, Tritton, Davis, Larson, and Rubino. Davison for the faceoff. Pacific Ridge wins that one. Sends to the neutral zone. It's loose. Davis picks it up. Makes the zone. Dangles through. Gets poke checked. Kept down by the hash marks by Cash Johnson. Pacific Ridge able to clear it out. Cash Johnson dumps it in. Tritton and Davis in pursuit. Davis going to be the first one there for Gorman. Feeds it out to Tritton, just out of reach. Larson sends it across. Cash Johnson in the middle. It's loose. And we have a power play coming up in favor of Gorman. Holding the call as number 66. Will head to the box for Pacific Ridge. Holding is the call. Creel, Fish, Jennings, Trent, and Godino. And for Gorman on the power play. Pacific Ridge wins it, sends it around the boards, kept in play by Trent. Sent around the boards out to Godino. High in the slot, Tommy Trent. Tommy with an assist earlier in the game on the goal by Godino. Pass back out, top of the slot. Down low to Fish. Fish trying to cross it over, gets stuffed. And Pacific Ridge player almost taking out the head coach. Trying to clear it. There's glass there, but it's behind the coach's head. Kerr in for the faceoff. Pacific Ridge wins that one. It's going to be a high stick. Going to bring this one all the way back into Gorman territory. Pacific Ridge wins the face-off shot right off the circle as the Koska has to make a quick save. Gorman wins. Nope, Pacific Ridge wins that one. Comes out to Larison. Trying to buy some space here. Gorman's still in the power play. Out to Cash Johnson. Couldn't handle that one cleanly. Kerr to Luong. Larison reverses across the blue line. Klaus through the neutral zone. Shot. Loose out front. Follow-up shot. It's deflected wide before Klaus could get the follow-up shot off. Cash Johnson reverses back the other way. And Pacific Ridge gets the clear. Larison back at the blue line. Gets tied up, and that's going to be another penalty. And Gorman's going to have a 5-on-3 opportunity here as number 86 joins number 88. Five on three coming up, 22 seconds of it. Fish, Godino, Creel, and Jennings. Trent at the blue line. Fish has it in the corner. Sends it around the boards out to Godino along the blue line. Far wall. High in the slot. Trent looking, walking it up. Sends it back out to Godino. Couldn't connect directly. Godino shot up and over. Comes around the boards. Man on the ice. Fish takes a hit. Down low and covered by the goalie for stoppage of play. 1:31 remaining on this second penalty here. 3:13 remaining in the first period. Kerr wins that one, sends it back, makes its way over to Larison at the blue line. Out to Klaus, high in the slot. Shot. Loose out front. Kerr trying to fish it back through the crease. Luong at the bumper position here. Sent around. Pacific Ridge is going to get there, and they're going to wire down opposite side with about a minute left in the Gorman power play. Larison brings it through, makes the zone, drops it back to Johnson. Johnson feeds back to Larison. Larison to Luong. Back out to Larison. Not a lot of room. shot goes wide from Kerr. Klaus lost his edge. Pacific Ridge, opportunity the other way. Shot, save for Koska. Long going to regroup with Godino. Godino brings it in. Out to Baldi. Shot. Hits a stick and goes wide. Kept in play by Rubino. Shot. Off a body goes wide. And we are back to 5-on-5 play. Godino cycles it back through. Fish is trying to hit Baldi in motion. Had a man on him. Loose up front. And cover. That one deflected off a Pacific Ridge skate right through the crease and onto the pad. Fish in for the face-off. Comes out in favor of Pacific Ridge. Cross-ice pass didn't connect. They're going to regroup at their blue line. And they wire it in, no icing. Picked up by Baldi, reversed the other way, out to Creel. Creel hits Godino in motion. 2-on-1. Godino to Fish. Fish couldn't finish the shot. Creel came in to support and couldn't get a shot off either. The play was there. It was a good look. And that was a punch or two. And I have a feeling Pacific Ridge is going to head back to the box. Godino gets hit in the head twice, and he will go to the box for taking 2 shots to the head. Posner, Tritton, Davis, Baldi in for the PK. Pacific Ridge picks that one up, high in the slot. Tritton goes in, sends it around the boards. Davis comes in. Davis gets the clear, lobs it out. Tritton going to stay high. Tritton ties him up as he makes the blue line. Walks it through, though. Brings it around. Loose out front. Cleared. Shot. Goal. And Pacific Ridge ties it up. All right, Jennings, Tritton, and Bonifazio. Shot goes just wide. You're gonna let that one play. Thought that would be an icing. And that'll be the end of the first. Tie game, 2-2. Shots on goal, 10-6 in favor of Gorman. Coming up, second period, 5-on-5. Jennings, Bonifazio, and Tritton. Tritton sends it down. That is on net, no icing. It's sent aside by the goalie. Picked up by Jennings behind the net. Tries sending out to Baldy, leaves the zone, and Gorman will have to regroup. Baldy's going to wire it in. One-on-one, Luong back checking, picks it up at the hash marks. Feeds it out to Bonifazio. Out to Tritton, couldn't field that one. And Jennings is going to bring it through the zone. Gets poke checked off the stick. Rubino fresh over the boards. It's at his feet, chips it up to Fish. Rubino is going to bring it through. Walks it up, bouncing puck. Yeah, Pacific Ridge trying to make it through the neutral zone. Gorman doing a good job so far, holding it down. Larson's got a man on him, dumps it back. Comes out to Rubino along the near wall. He's got a man on him, trying to get a pass off. Gets tied up, reverse back the other way. And they're going to call this one dead. Fresh legs for Gorman for a neutral zone face-off. Trent, Posner, Jennings, Davis, and Johnson. Davis in for the face-off. Comes out in favor of Pacific Ridge. Dumps it down into Gorman's zone. Trent's going to get there first for Gorman. Sends it around the boards out to Jennings. Jennings feeds it to Davis. Davis and Johnson sends it across. Couldn't connect with Johnson. Chipped through. Trent still battling along the boards. Davis comes in to support. Sent around behind Posner. Posner going to bring it around the weak side. Chipped up. Lobs it across. Bouncing puck. Cash Johnson brings it in. He's got Davis coming to the net. Sends it across. Loose out front. Davis tied up. Couldn't get to the puck. Davis and Jennings working down low. Pacific Ridge picks it up. Brings it back behind the goal. Cross-ice pass picked up by Trent. And we have a penalty. Hooking. Looks like Jennings going to head to the box for a hooking call.
I will shovel whatever it takes.
14-17 remaining. Gorman going to go on the PK. Luong, Baldy, Godino, and Creel. Godino in for the foul. They're going to wave off Pacific Ridge. Pacific Ridge wins the faceoff, brings it high in the slot. Along the far wall, chip back behind the net. Baldy in pursuit, going to get there for Gorman, chips it up to Godino. Godino on the rush, 2-on-1. Creel crashing the net. Sends it across, didn't connect. And Pacific Ridge going to bring back the other direction. Dumps it in Gorman territory, just wide of the net. Comes out the other side. Baldy sends it around as Pacific Ridge tries to settle down here and establish position in the zone. Out to the hash mark shot. Off the shoulder pads. Fed back through. And net came off as Lakoska was flying out to the right side. 1:19 remaining in the penalty. Fish in for the faceoff. Pacific Ridge wins that one. Sends it across, almost picked off by Kerr. Fish and Kerr, your forward crew, Larison and Rubino. On defense, Pacific Ridge, the zone. Cycles it back. Rubino says hello, and up. That's going to be a penalty. Interference is the call. Five on three, Godino, Trent, and Posner. Going to be at over a minute. Just over a minute per the board here. A 5 on 3. And looks like we're going to have a timeout. By one of the teams. Shots on goal, 10-6 in favor of Gorman. Tie game as the penalties begin stacking up for Gorman. Not sure which team called the timeout, as they both show one each remaining. All right, face off in Gorman zone. Shot, goal. Clear the first penalty. Be a 3-2 game now in favor of Pacific Ridge. Creel, Godino, Larison, and Baldy. Pacific Ridge with the lead. Godino sends that one in. Cross ice pass, chipped and out of play. Gonna spot that one back towards Pacific Ridge blue line. Face-off coming up center ice at the feet of Godino. Godino chips it in and finishes the job, sending it lower into Pacific Ridge zone. Puck stuck at the feet of the referee. Creel chips it across. It's got a breakaway. Goal! Short-handed goal from Creel as he walks it across to make it a 3-3 game. Davis, Kerr, Baldy, and Larison coming up on the PK. Correction, Trent and Long coming in on defense. Davis in for the faceoff. Puck comes out into Pacific Ridge territory. Davis comes in, separates him from the puck. Chipped in. And Pacific Ridge is going to bring it back the other way. Pacific Ridge makes his own. Shipped across, picked up by Luong. Takes a hit in the back. No call on that one. Pass out front. Picked up to Davis. Davis lobs it in. Kerr in pursuit as Pacific Ridge picks it up along the hash marks. Sends it across. Godino in now with Creel. Trent gives a hit in the corner. Trenton Baldy now at defense. Pacific Ridge brings it back behind the net, tries to send it across off the stick with Godino, and we have a 2-on-2 the other way. Creel back on after his shorthanded goal. Tries to get a shot off, gets tied up, and puck sent out to the far corner. Creel wants another one as Pacific Ridge tries to get some momentum here on the power play. Larison ships it out. Godino finishes it, sends it the other way, and that will clear. Get the clock corrected here. That'll clear the penalty. Back to 5-on-5 play. Out to Cash Johnson. Cash Johnson trying to hit Baldy. Kicks it back up to himself. Lobs it in. Fish. Bonifazio. Larison, Posner, and Johnson in for Gorman. Pacific Ridge trying to bring it up right in front of their net. Risky move. Poke checked off by Larison, and Fish is going to bring it back the other way. He's got Johnson with him. Brings it out wide. Feeds it out to Bonifazio. Shot. Tipped. Loose out front. Followed up. Cash Johnson finishes the job and puts Gorman back up by 1. Forwards getting the work done. Fish. Sorry, Bonifazio. Looks like it went to Fish. To Johnson. Put it in. Davis, Fitzy, and Tritton coming up. Davis in for the face-off. Defense, Posner and Baldy. Fitzy chips it up. Davis comes in. Pacific Ridge chips it across. And Trent's going to try to find an opening here. He sends it airborne out to Fitzy on the near wall. Sends it in the zone. Davis is going to get there for Gorman. Feeds it out front. Shot. Loose. As Tritton and Davis are both trying to shove that one in underneath the pad. And we'll have a face-off in the offensive zone. Davis in for the face-off. Wins it back. Shot. Fitzy up and over. Goes wide off a stick. Tritton comes in. Puck goes up and over, and that should be an icing. It is. And fresh forward crew coming out. Johnson, Kerr, Jennings, Posner. Gorman wins the face-off. Back to Tommy Trent. Shot off the pad, just wide out to Posner. Shot loose out front. Kerr. Shot and save. Bouncing puck here. Baldy dumps it in just to the left of the net. Picked up by Kerr. Jennings comes in to support, comes away with it. He's got Cash Johnson out front, couldn't get the shot off. And Luong finding some space, sends it out to Johnson, dumps it in. Jennings working in the corner there. Comes away with it. Gets pressed off the puck. Reverses the other way. Fish in pursuit. Luong keeps it in play. Shot. Loose out front. Backhanded. Loose. Comes back out to Baldy. Baldy. Shot. Couldn't get it off cleanly. And Pacific Ridge brings back the other way. Back checking Creel. And Baldy goes wide to the far wall. Shot. Loose out front. Creel chips it up and out. Godino in pursuit. Tries cutting him off on the near side. Reverse the other way. And Pacific Ridge sends it down and around the boards in Gorman territory. Long says that's mine. And lobs it. Kept in play by Pacific Ridge. They reverse it 2-on-1 the other way. Shot off the side of the net. Pacific Ridge not showing any signs of being tired here. Puck sent around the boards. That'll clear. That will be an icing, a much needed icing here in the second period. .752 remaining in the second. Just a reminder that we'll have an ice cut between the second and third period. Kerr into the faceoff. Pacific Ridge wins that one. Sends it up front. Top of the faceoff circle. Still in play. Larson cuts that one off. Klaus chips it off the glass. Race the other way. Kerr in pursuit is going to get there first. Can he get a shot off? Gets tied up. No penalty on that one. It was clean. And Pacific Ridge picks up a loose puck. Gorman's going to regroup back to the neutral zone. Off the skate of Kerr. Pacific Ridge can take advantage of this one. Puck leaves the zone, and they will need to regroup. They'll dump it down low and tag up instead. Fitzy sends it out to Kerr. Kerr brings it in the zone, drops it back to Fitzy. Shot. Save. Davis, Bonifazio, Tritton, Posner, and Trent. Davis wins it. Shot from Bonifazio right off the faceoff. Goes wide. Drops back. Pacific Ridge brings it across through center ice. Along the near wall. Sent aside by Lakoska. Bonifazio sends it out, hits Tritton. Tritton and Trent on the rush. Sends it across. That one picked up. Bonifazio sends it in. That will be an offsides.
This year we've had to lose our space. We've lost dancing.
Gorman with a 4-3 lead. Face off in the neutral zone. Bonifazio, Tritton, Davis, Baldy, and Luong. Davis chips it in. Pacific Ridge loses regroup in their zone. Davis sends it across. Couldn't connect. Pacific Ridge brings that out the other way. Baldy on the back check. No icing on this one. Pacific Ridge working along the goal line. Davis ties up player. Shot. Loose. Set across. Davis brings it out the other way with Bonifazio on his right. Davis opts to send it down low while Gorman goes for a change. Davis gets a check in, and that'll be an icing. Jennings, Fitzy, Johnson, Baldy, and Luong. Puck comes on back, shot off the face-off from Fitzy. Glove save. Face-off win. Luong with a shot, hits a body, goes out to the far wall. Sorry, Larison. They swapped out defensemen on me. Puck comes out of the zone. Rubino by himself in the neutral zone. Lobs it up. And that will be an icing. So says the ref. .5:26 remaining. Puck comes out along the far corner. Sent airborne, bouncing through the neutral zone. And that will be an icing. And well after the play, I don't see a hand up. I'm assuming they're going to escort him to the box. They blew the whistle, and he came in and hit Fish after the play. Number 5 for Pacific Ridge will head to the box. Gorman will go on a power play for cross-checking the infraction. And they're not going to give him a full offensive zone face-off. I'd have felt there was a little bit that could have or should have been done from the victim. Face off. Puck comes out along the far wall. Creel battling, sends it out to Fish. Bouncing puck out to Cadino. Walks it up. And, sorry folks, takes it around. Comes out to Trent. To Jennings. Shot through the crease. No one home, and puck clears the zone. Trent gets pickpocketed, and Pacific Ridge brings it back the other way. An opportunity. Shot. Save. Apologize for the feed. Glitching here and there. We'll fix that during the ice cut. .433 remaining, 119. Sorry, 119 remaining in the power play. Gorman not having a lot of good looks on this one. Stretch pass out to Kerr. Kerr stuck along the boards. Comes out to Luong. Luong brings it across. And it's got a man on him. Couldn't enter the zone cleanly. And Gorman's going to regroup back at the hash marks. Larison now through the neutral zone. Takes it wide. Near wall, Cash Johnson. Cash Johnson will send it around to Luong on the far wall. Got Larison high in the slot. Shot. Off Klaus. And that'll clear the zone. 28 seconds left on the power play. Larison out to Johnson. Makes the zone. Gets stuffed and sent back the other way. Larison to Kerr. Kerr's just going to lob it down. Bouncing puck at net. And goalie will blow that one dead. 3 seconds remaining. Fish in for the face-off. Wins it back. Godino couldn't field that one cleanly. And Pacific Bridge brings it back the other way. Gorman able to send it down into the territory. Fish and Creel pinned along the boards. Godino comes in for support. Pacific Ridge brings it back the other way. Huge hit by Creel, loose out front. Shot goes wide. Godino diving. Comes back out to Baldy. He's going to refeed. Fish out to feed a Godino. Creel down low. Godino looking for a passing option. Tries feeding it through the crease. Creel trying to stuff it on the short side. Out to Godino. Godino back behind the net. Tries wrapping it around. Pacific Ridge is going to pick that one up. Bring it back. Rubino working along the wall. Keep it pinned. Fish in the corner. Stretch pass out to Godino. Godino just bounces it in. Creel goes on the forecheck as Gorman goes for a change. Fish with a shot tipped just over the net as Bonifazio comes in, turns him around. Pass along the near wall. Bonifazio almost steals that one. But pass comes out. Davis chips it back up. Pacific Ridge with a shot and glove save. Davis wins that one back to Trent. Trent sends it around the boards to Tritton. Tritton trying to connect. Out to Bonifazio. Bonifazio to Davis. Brings along near side, lobs it in. Right outside the crease. Davis gets pressed to the boards. Bonifazio feeds it out front, loose. Out to Tritton. Tritton feeds it back down to Bonifazio behind the net. Just out of reach. Davis comes in to support. Off the glass and gets the clear, bouncing puck through the neutral zone. Pass out to Trent. Trent walks it in. Gets poke checked off. Off the feet of Davis. No icing on this one as it comes all the way back down into Gorman territory. Posner back behind at the goal line, chips it up to Bonifazio. Bonifazio out to Tritton, bouncing puck at the blue line, off the ref. Puck stuck along the boards. Loose underneath Davis. Bounces out into territory for Pacific Ridge, and they're going to bring it around the near side. Trent sends it around the boards out to Davis. Davis trying to hit Klaus. Angle cut off. And Pacific Ridge going to reverse back into their zone. They're going to kill off the clock here. All right. That'll wrap up the second period. Shots on goal, 17-11 in favor of Gorman. Gorman with a 1-goal lead at 4-3. Take a quick break here while they cut the ice. May lose the feed if you're watching. You may need to refresh as we try to correct some of the buffering issues here. Be right back. Fresh sheet of ice. 4 referees. Nets in position. As Gorman takes the ice. Get a few laps in. Get some stretches in. As Gorman looks to put this one to bed. 4-3 in favor of the Gale. Shots on goal 17-11 in favor of Gorman. All right, Gorman, 4 goals. For goal number 1, Cash Johnson with an assist from Fish and Bonifazio. Goal number 2, Cash Creel, shorthanded. Sorry, those were reading backwards. Jennings with the first goal. Creel and Trent on the assist. Godino with Trent on goal number 2. Jennings, Rubino. They have all these mixed up. Penalties and goals. There we go. Jennings, assist from Creel and Trent. Goal number 2, Godino, an assist from Tommy Trent. Goal number 3, unassisted. Cash Creel, shorthanded. Goal number 4, Johnson, Fish, and Bonifazio. Took a while, but we got there. And we're going to start this one out with Kerr, Johnson, and Klaus. Trent and Baldy at the blue line. Kerr going to be in for the face-off. Koska in net. And the face-off comes out in favor of Gorman. Trent walks it around, chips it up to Johnson, to Kerr. He's going to opt to dump it in as Klaus goes on the forecheck. He's going to get there first for Gorman. Klaus brings it back behind the net. Circles around, trying to send around the boards, gets tied up. And that will be an icing. Spare you all the spin. Luong and Posner at the blue line. Kerr in for the face-off. Puck comes out in favor of Pacific Ridge. Can't get the clear as Posner sends it back down into the zone. Johnson walks it up. Brings it back behind the net to the near corner. Trying to hit the blue line. Luong backs up. Pacific Ridge brings back behind the net. Luong trying to work it through. Sent around the far wall. Cash Johnson in with a hit. And they send it back to the blue line. Walked up to the dot. Shot deflected wide. Regroup back behind the net. Trying to send it around right in front. Gorman stuffed in their own territory. Long shift for Gorman. Feed out to the blue line. Shot off a body. Follow-up shot loose. Diving save by Lakoska. As Gorman struggling to clear the zone here. Klaus way up high. That is going to be a penalty on Gorman. Looks like Kerr will head to the box. Roughing is the call. Creel. Godino. Rubino. And Larison, Creel in for the face-off. Loose of the feet. Gorman gets a piece of it, and Rubino sends it down. Pass out to the blue line. No call on that one. Gorman gets a clear. Creel on the forecheck, picks it up. It's got Godino with him. Puck poke checked out into the corner. Godino just going to hang in there and hold on to it. As he works his way back up. Stretch pass out to the blue line. Walked up. Fed across, picked up by Larison. Larison takes a hit, dumps it out, hits Godino. It's still in play. Hits Godino on the blue line off his back. And Larison brings it out along the near wall. In comes Fish. Dumps it in. Pacific Ridge going to pick that up. Jennings comes in. Pass tipped. Comes out to Trent. Trent sends it airborne. Out the opposite side. 38 seconds left. Goalie sends it up to the hash marks. Picked up. Almost picked up by Jennings. Stretch pass. Shot sent wide. Gorman with the clear. 21 seconds left. Fish working by himself against the boards. Pacific Ridge pinned back in their zone. It's going to be fielded by Baldy. Chips it across, gets the clear. That should just about, that does it. In comes Kerr, Godino, and Creel. Picked up by Godino, shovels it back down low. Creel in pursuit. Godino has along the near wall. Puck sent around the boards to Kerr. Kerr trying to feed it to the blue line, gets stuffed. Poke checked off, still in play. Kerr regroups, drops it off to Baldy, to Trent. Back to Baldy, couldn't field that one cleanly. Bouncing puck, hits a body. Creel working into the corner. Davis comes in to support. Godino poke checks that one off. Feeds it across to Creel. And we have another penalty. Looks like Creel will head to the box now. As Gorman goes back on the PK. Gorman back on the PK, 12:28 remaining in the third. 1-goal lead. Sent back around the far boards. Rubino trying to get there. Try to send it out to Fish. Fish sends it through. Godino on the forecheck. That one gets picked up by Larison. And Pacific Ridge will bring it through the neutral zone. Makes Gorman territory and sends it around the boards. Pacific Ridge trying to stuff it short side. Shot. Goal. And Pacific Ridge ties the game. All right. Fish, Godino, Creel for your forward crew. Trent and Baldy on the defense. All right. Fish in for the puck drop. Wins it back to Baldy. Baldy walks it up.
2 assists for the coach.
All right, sent around the boards. Cycle back to Fish. Fish to Godino. Tie game. Back out to Trent at the blue line. Trent, shot. And glove save. Fish in for the faceoff. Pacific Ridge wins that one, feeds it, couldn't clear. Comes out to Trent, who sends it back down low. They pick that one up, stretch pass, loose behind. Save, Lukaska. Trent brings it through the neutral zone. Gets poke checked off the stick. Sends it back out to Godino at the blue line. Reverses back the other way to Trent. Trying to send it across, and another opportunity for Pacific Ridge. Stretch pass, tipped, still in play. Creel will be the first man there. And we have a penalty now on Pacific Ridge. At least one would think. Like number 15 head in for high sticking. Kerr, Klaus, Johnson, Rubino, and Larison. Puck comes out. Johnson able to maintain possession of that one behind the goal line. Sends it out to Rubino. Rubino needing assistance. Comes out to Johnson. Back out to Larison at the blue line. Walks it across. To Klaus. Kick back behind the goal line. Klaus trying to feed it across. And Pacific Ridge gets the clear. Cash Johnson walks it in, dangles through, sent wide by the goalie, and cleared back to Trent in the neutral zone. Pass out to Rubino. Rubino chips it in, bouncing puck, sent wide by the goalie. Fish and Jennings take the ice for the power play unit, as well as Creel. Creel back behind the net. Walks it in. Creel picks up the loose puck. Feeds it out to Baldy, high in the slot. Shot. Hits a body, goes wide. Sent over to Fish in the near corner. Trent back down to Fish. Jennings, shot off the glove, still in play, up over the net. Creel looking for the top left corner, just over. Godino brings it across, 13 seconds, loose out front, shot. And goalie able to hold on to that one with 8 seconds left on the power play for Gorman. Fish, Creel, Godino, Larison, and Rubino. Fish in for the faceoff. Comes out to the goal line. Pacific Ridge picks that one up, sends it across. Larison keeps it in play. Across the ice. Shot. Down low, Rubino with the shot, glove save by the goalie. Klaus Davis and Kerr, Rubino and Larison. Davis in for the face-off. Davis wins it back. Chipped across. Pacific Ridge trying to get the clear. They do. Larison poke checks it back up. Davis shovels down low. Picked up at the hash marks. And out to Larison in the neutral zone. Pass out to Klaus. That was tipped. And they're going to say it was not. And it's going to come on back. Kerr in for the face-off. Comes out in favor of Pacific Ridge. Shot off the blocker. Comes out to Davis along the far side. Davis sends it out to Klaus along the far wall. Gets tripped up. No call. Kerr cycling in the corner. Brings it around. Stretch pass. No one home. That is on net, though. And miscommunication between the goalie and defenseman leads to a goal.
Let's go!
5-4 now. All right, Jennings in for the face-off. Both forwards sent away. Johnson coming in for the face-off. Gets chipped down into Pacific Ridge territory. Gorman finding themselves behind again. Out to Cash Johnson. Johnson battling through along the goal line. Jennings comes in to support. And Gorman buying time. Jennings working his way to the box. Skate damaged. And Cash Johnson brings out along the other side. Chips it out to Fish. Fish brings it in the zone. Picked up in front of the crease by Pacific Ridge. Out to the feet of Godino. Godino battling through. Gorman tied up on themselves. And that'll be an icing. It's going to come on back. Fish, Godino, Creel, Trent, and Rubino. Face-off comes out in favor of Pacific Ridge. Center on the boards. Fish there trying to battle along the near boards. At the feet of Creel. Sends it across to Godino. Trying to chip it in. Couldn't connect. Godino brings it back behind the net. High in the slot. Shot. Off the goalie into the corner. Comes out to Godino, dangles through, tries to backhand it, gets stuffed, try to feed it through, gets stuffed. Puck comes out of the blue line. Trent comes in, sends it back down low. Pacific Ridge now brings it the other way, lob it in the Gorman zone. Regroup back behind Gorman net. Trent chips it up, bouncing puck. Godino trying to fish it over to Creel and couldn't, and Pacific Ridge brings it back the other way. Bucks comes out into the near corner. Fish brings it out through the neutral zone. He's got Creel with him, makes the line, dumps it in. He's going to go for a change. In comes Klaus and Kerr. Kept in play by Kerr. Nope. Chipped out. So Larison tries feeding it through. Kerr going to regroup. He's got a man on him. Angles it out to Klaus. Gets tripped up. And that'll be a penalty on Pacific Ridge for tripping right at the blue line. As the player yet to be identified heads to the box. Number 11. And coach over at Pacific bench wants a conversation. And we're going to do a face-off. And looks like we have a timeout for Gorman. All right, 4:43 remaining in the third period. Gales trailing now 5-4. Shots on goal, 23-17 in favor of Gorman. Gorman ready for a 5-4 man advantage. In for the power play, Fish, Davis, Creel, Godino, and Trent. Puck comes out to Trent. Out to Godino. Shot. Save. Fish in for the face-off. Comes out. Chipped up. And that's still in play. Break through the zone by Fish. Sends it out to Creel along the near boards. Couldn't get there. Kept in play by Fish. Or Godino sends it around the boards. Gets stuffed and sent back the other way. And Godino brings it around the far side. Dropped back to Trent. Out to Fish. Chips it in. Dropped back to Trent. Creel makes the zone. Drops it back, picked up by Pacific Ridge at the blue line. Chip back up to Trent. Chipped in by Davis. Davis goes on the forecheck. Tries cycling it back off a stick of Pacific Ridge. That's flying up and into the crowd. It'll be a stoppage of play. I have a face-off here in the neutral zone. 3:13 remaining in the third. Face-off win back to Rubino. Rubino wires it in. Picked up by Pacific Ridge. Banked it off the glass. Cash Johnson working along the wall. Comes out to Larison. Larison dangles it up. Trying to hit Rubino. Just off. And that gets cleared. 5 seconds remaining in the power play for Gorman. Dangled up by Larison. Shot. Tried to hit Rubino. Rubino was right there. Couldn't connect. Had the open side of the net. Puck loose. Glove down by Larison. Bouncing. Cleared. Out to Rubino, to Larison. Chipped back to Kerr. Gorman reloads, sends it into the corner. Klaus picks that one up. Kerr comes in to support. Sends it back to the blue line. Larison, shot. Picked up by Pacific Ridge. Luke's out front. Scooped up by Kerr to Rubino. Rubino takes a hit, and Pacific Ridge brings it back the other way. Loose. Save, Lakoska. And Larison brings it back the other way. He's got Cash Johnson with him. Gorman trying to get fresh bodies on the ice. Drops it back. No one there. As Gorman had gone for a change, and we have an opportunity the other way. Godino back checking. Gets there. Comes away with the puck. Feeds it out to Fish. Pacific Ridge wires it back the other way. They're going to have to tag up. 1:26 remaining. Trent back behind his own net. Chips it off the boards. Out of play. Gorman says we're going to bring it through anyways. Lobs it in. Comes out to Creel. Trent comes in. Couldn't get a shot off. Backhand shot by Creel. Sent wide by the goalie. Fish. Poke checks it around the boards. Pacific Ridge couldn't get there. Trent keeps it in play. Bouncing puck at the faceoff dot. Kept in by Baldy. Feeds it across. Still in play. And Fish will send it around the boards. Gorman needs a shot here. 45 seconds remaining. And that will be an icing. Gorman has an empty net. .1 seconds remaining. Gorman trailing by 1 as the penalties stack up. Godino, Fish, Kerr, Trent, Larison, and Creel. Fish in for the faceoff. And Fish getting waved off. In comes Godino. Pacific Ridge trying to pin it along the boards. Works it out to Larison. Larison sends it across. Shot tipped by Godino. Couldn't clear. Huge hit. Penalty. Doesn't matter. Gorman already has a man advantage. 14 seconds shot off a body. And there's going to be a penalty coming up. As 86 heads to the box. Roughing is the call. 11.6 seconds, 6-on-4 advantage. Gorman looking to put lots of bodies in front. Fish in for the face-off. Pacific Ridge couldn't hold on to it. Godino feeds it back to the blue line. Trent shot. Pad save. 4, 3. Loose out front. And Creel hit after the play. As Pacific Ridge comes away with a 5-4 win. All right. 5-4 the final score. Gorman come away with the first weekend 2-1 record. Next set of games coming up 2 weeks. Back out in Anaheim. I want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll see you soon.